So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a streak for isolation. When you do a streak for isolation, you need to have your working plate and a clean nutrient agar plate. And you need to make sure that your nutrient agar plate is dry. It's okay if there's water on the lid, but the agar portion needs to be dry. Otherwise, it'll be very hard to get individual colonies, which is the purpose of the technique. When you are going to do a streak for isolation, the first thing you're going to do is incinerate your loop. Let the whole entire loop get red hot, as we've talked about before. And then you're going to let it cool so that you do not kill the bacteria that you pick up. With a streak for isolation, you are only going to take bacteria from your working plate one time. After that, you're going to move that plate away, and then you're just going to distribute that initial streak of bacteria across the plate to the point where you get individual colonies. To do your first quadrant streak, you're going to lift up your working plate, take a small sample of bacteria, and then you are going to take your working plate and you are going to lightly inoculate the plate with your bacteria. You only have to cover a very small portion of the plate. Then you are going to incinerate your loop. It is very important with a streak for isolation that you incinerate your loop in between each quadrant. Otherwise, every quadrant will end up looking like your first because you will still have a lot of bacteria on your loop. For your second quadrant, after your loop has cooled, you're going to pick up your plate and you're going to just slightly turn it to the side. You're going to place your loop at the edge of your first quadrant and smear bacteria again across the plate to make your second quadrant. Again, this quadrant does not need to be very large, but you have now taken a small proportion of the bacteria from your first quadrant and moved it into your second. So you have distributed them across fresh, clean media. Incinerate your loop again, allow it to cool, and then you're going to again take your plate, turn it slightly, and then starting in your second quadrant, make your third quadrant. Your third quadrant can be bigger than your first or second quadrant because now you're getting to the point where you have less bacteria on your plate. After your third quadrant, incinerate your loop, allow it to cool, and then you're going to pick up your plate, start in your third quadrant, streak out into the clean part of the media, back into the third quadrant, out, and then out over the clean part of the media, making sure that you do not accidentally re-enter your first or second quadrants when you do so. When you're done, incinerate your loop, and then you have completed your streak for isolation.